First thing I want to talk about, bug sprint. Why do I use bug sprint? I've had a few people lately, over time, they're new to Agile and they're like, well, we got this backlog, we got a lot of stuff in, and from what we were doing before, I have a lot of bugs, or we got to do some fixes. And before we do the Agile thing, we want to fix all these bugs and get all that stuff done before we convert over into being Agile or Scrum organization. We don't want to go Scrum with all this backlog of junk that was in there before. And I just, when I hear that, I just go, well, you really don't know what Agile and Scrum's about. Really. I mean, you think it has to be a story. It has to be dev. It has to be new work. It only works if you do that. And I just want to say, well, you're wrong. There's no reason why you can't use Scrum. And I say you're wrong. It's a tough thing to say, but it's like, let's think about this before. So what's a bug? A bug is something that's broken in the code or something that's not working right and you got to fix it and you want to make a better product for your customer. Does it involve more than one person to help figure out and come up with a better solution? Probably. Can one person do it? Probably. Would you have a better solution that won't come back a month from now and break your system again? Yeah, if you have more than one person. So what kind of methodology or framework helps getting more than one person together to come up with a solution? XP or Scrum are the two that really work with teams, right? An XP team is everybody working on the issue. Scrum has different ways of the team work together as a group to solve an answer between sprint planning, tasking, analysis work, testing and all that, how you work as a team to solve the answer. So Scrum is a very good solution for solving that, and so is XP for solving bugs. But we got all these things. Okay, so what is that? Is it a backlog by any chance? So you have a list of bugs. It's a giant backlog. It's a backlog of bugs. Treat it like stories. Size them, estimate them, figure out priorities. What bugs are more critical? Which bugs are going to take your system down and not let you make any money? When we talk about Moscow, right? Cash is still king. I'm sorry, but cash is king. Credit is not. Credit's nice. Cash is king. Future money, not king. Money in hand now is king. So if you're a bug that takes down your shopping cart, you fix it because you want to collect or you can't take credit cards. You fix that bug. Those are the bugs you fix first. Is the ability of your customer to buy stuff. The ability of your customer to peruse things is not the priority bug. It's the ones that bring cash into your organization. So why can't you do bugs and fix your problems first thing in a Scrum-like manner? There's nothing to prevent that. Let's look at this, right? Sprint planning. You list all the bugs. You prioritize. You pick the ones you want to do first, right? Daily Scrum. How are we doing? Did we do any bugs? Do I need some help? Hey, this bug is really kicking my butt. I can't figure out where it's coming from. Can I get some help from some of my teammates? Daily Scrum. That's how you do Daily Scrum. So I got these 5 bugs down. I'm going to the next 5 bugs. Or I'm finished. Can we go for the next batch of bugs that are in our thing and I can go fix it? That's Daily Scrum. Review. How do we do? Well, we got all these bugs done and he showed them to the customer and it looks like it's working really good. We tweaked it here. We did this. Share with the team. Here's some things I found out about the system that we didn't know about. I created a whole new system. Who knows what if solved the bug? Retrospective. I tried these techniques to fix the bug and they didn't work. This one, because we have a reach out to there, we need to create some automated tests to test that better because it's just going to keep back and haunting us if I don't have an automated test script to do that. So we need to work more automated scripts so that we know when this bug arrives, or can we create something in the next sprint to monitor this fix I made, because I think it's going to work, but I'm not sure. If it gets, over 10,000 hits or something like that, maybe it'll crash. Because I'll be honest with you, I've had systems and we couldn't figure out why, where I had a computer system that on the 1,000th time it got turned on, and it was always the 1,000th time it got turned on, it shut down. It was driving us nuts. So there is something to it where I want to do an automatic check-in so that when we hit that 1,000 time, I want to see if we make it through. And it's kind of like going through the sound barrier, right? When the planes are flying, they're like, okay, are we all going to die when this thing goes to the sound barrier? Because we don't know. So maybe you want to develop some metrics or sensors that when it goes. So bug fixing is a perfect thing to fit into Scrum. Maybe you do 1 week sprints? Do you do 2 week sprints? Where do you think you're going to be in the future? Get yourself into that mode now. It's a perfect thing. You have a backlog. You have a thing. Your team can size these things. You can talk about how you might come up with the answers to these bugs. They all might say this is simple. Maybe they're all 1 point. Great. It's a great thing to do. You still got to test it. You still got to make sure you didn't break things. You still got to make sure you have some automated tests, because if you fix the bug, did you just break 5 other things? Right? So building automated testing. Maybe we'll talk about that. Automated testing is a perfect example of how to use Scrum to solve automated testing and do a backlog of automated testing. So anyway, I hope that helps, because I got that question a few times in previous where they're like, oh, we're doing this, we're doing a lot of fixes. And I want to add one more. So you're purely fixing that. Maybe you have business as usual, and half the time you're fixing bugs. What I just said, fixing those bugs and dev work should be on the same backlog. You should be treating bugs like stories and pointing them. Okay? Maybe they're all 1 pointers. Maybe simple bugs, maybe not. A bug that you can get done in 15 minutes because it was a typo or something, yeah, don't track that. That is just something you just do. You just fix it, right? But if it's a bug that involves coding and fixing and changing your code to come up with a different answer, then you treat it as a story. So that's my point there. Okay. One thing that's really my pet peeve today, and it's been that way for a while, and I see it in these companies, in these big corps. People out there think people are stupid and they don't know what the hell they're doing, and they can't function in the world without you telling them what to do. And I just watched a video. At first, I thought it was serious, and I think it was what do you call it? Parody of these celebrities being online, and they wouldn't survive the coronavirus without them. I think in the end, it was a parody. It was a joke. At first, I thought it was serious. I'm like, oh my God, the whole world's coming to an end if we have to live by our celebrities. But then I saw, because President Trump said something about maybe using ultraviolet or disinfectant or something, as a cure. Maybe we can figure out some of this stuff as a cure. Now, I don't necessarily disagree with the ultraviolet. Maybe there is something to ultraviolet, but I don't know about disinfectant. But I'll tell you right now, what do you think all these chemicals that we get from medicines are? But he wasn't saying go and just start eating disinfectant to cure you. And the New York Times takes it so seriously that they actually wrote in it was in LinkedIn, a post that says, don't eat disinfectant. So here's the mentality. They think the human person is so stupid that they would eat disinfectant. Okay? They do. A child will accidentally eat a disinfectant. That's why you got to lock up poisons and stuff like that, and why we have a poison control number. And we don't want kids eating because they just stick stuff in their mouth. That's what they do. When you're adult, if you're not, they are assuming that you're too stupid to work on your own and build your own thing without them telling you exactly how to live your life. If you're where does this apply in Scrum and Agile? If you are running a business and you have no faith in your employees to make decisions, to write code, to understand stuff, to do stuff, to learn stuff, don't go Agile, ever. I'll tell you that right now. If you think you have to tell all your people exactly what to do so they get their job done, and that's the only way you can run your business, do not do Agile. Do not do Scrum. I plead with you, don't do it, because it's not going to work. You're going to become the bottleneck. It's all going to fall apart, and you're going to want to blame Scrum and Agile for your problems. The problem is you. You have no faith in your people to actually do their job, smart enough to do things. I always laugh. They worry about security and people and stuff like that. And I agree. There is something to it, and trust them. I says, you don't trust them enough to take a laptop home to work with security. I mean, all my stuff is encrypted, man. You take the laptop, it doesn't matter. It's a piece of junk. You're just going to have to reset it because it's all encrypted. But I'm like, however, you trust them enough to write your code, to develop your front end product to all your customers, to service millions of customers and all that stuff. But yet you don't trust them to take a laptop home. They just wrote the code for your customers, but yet you don't trust them to take the laptop home so they can work remotely. I don't get that, right? They're writing your code. They could put an Easter egg in your code in 1 second that would blow up your entire system. That would erase your entire computer system. Literally erase your entire system. There's some systems that had flags in there. If something goes like that, it shuts them down. There's backups. I know they're there. I've seen them. But you hired them. You're giving them access. They could do some major damage to what your business line looks like. And they can hide it. And no one would ever find it if they really wanted to. There's some evil people out there. And yes, they can do that. But you got to think about it. Don't do Agile if you do not trust your people to learn and grow in the organization, to ability to run their own stuff, to figure out their path forward, to grow from their own decisions and allow them to make mistakes. If you can't let your people make mistakes, then don't do Agile. That's all I'm asking. I'm just telling you right now. I see enough people that I got to tell them exactly how to do so they don't interfere in anything. We'll build a system that helps them understand what that is by using you as a dependency. As the New York Times says, don't eat disinfectant. You have such little faith in your staff that you have to go out and tell them, do not eat disinfectant. Do not do Scrum and Agile. Please, I beg you, do not hire any coaches to come out to try to fix that organization. Because if you can't trust them and you have to tell them don't eat disinfectant, then don't do Scrum and Agile. It's not going to work in your company. It's not going to work in your business. And with that, that's a happy note for a Sunday.